what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy. Let's dive in then to our LSU Arkansas film review, Jake. And so me and you spoke with a kind of a sort of touchdown club thing on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great time. And we were talking, and we were presenting a very confident front, right? Saying, like, I think LSU is the much better team. I think they will thoroughly control this game. And I remember one of the questions we were asked was, if, how does it go wrong if it does go wrong? Or who do you fear? I think is maybe how both framed it. And the one thing we said was, it's KJ Jefferson, right? Yep. Because we've seen him be good in the past. And I even called up for you old heads out there, like an old, I think it was 2009 or 2010 Ole Miss LSU where Jeremiah Masoli randomly out of nowhere just went off against a very good LSU defense, and you end up in a who has the ball last win situation. And, well, it's exactly what came to pass. So if we're wondering, where was the fly in the ointment in terms of our predictions going awry here? It wasn't offensively. They looked great. To me, it was KJ Jefferson, who I played way better than I thought he would have, Jake, and that Arkansas offensive line. I think I was guilty of misjudging a bit too harshly, maybe after a weak second half against BYU, because they were fantastic. And that's why you ended up in a fight for your life on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it on the show. I know we certainly said it on Friday. KJ Jefferson was the guy because he has the capability of going off like he did, and he certainly did that and then some. And he doesn't do it consistently, but he has that ability. And even like LSU getting some rush on the quarterback, because I actually think that they rushed the quarterback pretty well considering where they were the first 3 weeks of the season where they didn't really do a nice job. They were all around KJ Jefferson, just could not get him on the ground, had their hands on him at times. And look, we know that's a strength of his, obviously, in his size, being able to get away from a rush and create a play. But there's issues too. Like they didn't make it hard for KJ Jefferson at times. It's not like now some of the plays were on him, but there was a lot of plays where it was just you. It wasn't attention to detail. You allowed somebody to go streaking down the sidelines a couple of different times. And look, any quarterback, but certainly a quarterback that has as many starts as he does, the ability that he has is going to find that open receiver.
And Jake, this is something that I think I want to pick your brain on a bit more in depth later, but the common theme here that we've seen develop in a couple of these games where, it went awry against Florida State, almost went awry here. The third and longs. These third and longs are crazy. Arkansas ends up 8 of 13 on third down, but it's not even a normal 8 of 13. We're talking like a 3rd and 18, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 10. And it feels like the zone coverage is, especially in those situations, just so soft, and guys are able to easily find these spots. And look, a lot of that does go to your opponent, right? You do have to credit KJ. He was masterful on his RPOs, manipulating, knowing where to go exactly with the ball every single time. But like if we're looking on limiting factors on an LSU team whose offense looks as strong as any in the entire country, if you're looking for limiting factors, the inability of the defense to get off the field at times has reared its head now in 2 of the 4 games, and it really almost cost you again.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because you're having performances out there defensively that you can get excited about.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to talk about.
It is because, again, Jordan Jefferson, I thought, had another nice game.
Wait, how about this from Jordan Jefferson? Sorry to jump in here, but you perfectly set this up. Shout out Daniel Vlosky, Go Edits on Twitter, who points out Jordan Jefferson leads the team in run defense grade right now, with an 82.9. That ranks him as the number 9 defensive lineman in the entire Power 5 and number 2 in the SEC. And that's you got to have at least 75 run snaps. Even qualify. So that's a legitimate ranking.
I didn't know that, but that's not surprising watching the tape. So I thought he had another good game. I thought Whit Weeks is a dog. Whit Weeks is a dog.
I really love what Whit Weeks brings to bear. He has great natural instincts.
Yeah.
He uses his hands well to get off of blocks.
Physical at the point on those blocks.
Yes, had some tenacious. Yeah, like he is delivering blows to your offensive line, which you want your linebacker to do. He had some pretty tenacious pass rushes at times in this game. Whit Weeks has major potential when it comes to playing inside
So,
linebacker.
I mean, there's things that are bright spots, but it's just the entire group coming together. It's not close right now. It's not. I mean, I thought Harold Perkins had a couple of nice moments. I thought Mekhi Wingo had a couple of nice moments. I thought Greg Penn had a nice couple of moments. But, I mean, it's just not putting them all together at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just not consistent. And then you continue to struggle at the safety position.
It's really bad.
I think, T-Bob, you're to a point where you got to start trying some other things. You got to start, maybe even if it's a young player. Because here's the deal. Okay, if it's, man, this older vet, he doesn't have the talent that the young guy has, but he's always where he's supposed to be. Well, okay, I can live with that. You want sound defense. But when the guy who doesn't have as much talent is also out of position, that's where you have a problem.
Yeah.
And zone coverage, you already mentioned it once, still floating sometimes and still not attention to detail.
And that's why I want to pick your brain on, because I don't know coverages well enough to exactly know who's supposed to be where. But that's how confused that LSU looks, is that they don't appear to know who exactly, like which responsibilities is whose on a lot of these plays.
They don't. And then even sometimes when they do, then they just kind of go rogue at the end of the coverage.
Yeah.
Like a coverage is a coverage.
They get a little like happy feet almost, it feels like.
Like when you're called to go into, wherever you're supposed to be on the field to cover, like you can't leave that. Like there's also rules when things break down and what you do. And so that's been the most surprising thing, is the safety position right now just looks like they are lost. And I think you said it right. Like sometimes it's a panic.
Yeah.
Whenever things break down. You can't continue on down the road doing the same things in the back end.
No, and like you look forward to Ole Miss and this sort of stuff that'll get you in trouble. Like already I was concerned about LSU's defense going against an Ole Miss offense. Like you could be like, oh, but Alabama's a pretty good matchup for Ole Miss, right? Because the defense is the strength of that Alabama team, D-line, and you saw that on Saturday. This game only made me more concerned about trying to stop that Ole Miss offense, as you're probably looking at. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.